All right, so with average mortgage rates at over 7%, let's take a look at how that's impacting our local market. This is this week's housing market report for the week of April 30th, 2024. And I am your host, Sammy Fryer, licensed realtor in the state of South Carolina. And so the first thing is, holistically, the trend is continuing. Home prices are going up since the beginning of March. And so it's interesting. We keep talking about this every week with mortgage rates, properties with price decrease, buyer demand, but yet home prices continue to escalate, up on a 90-day average of almost $20,000 since the beginning of March. And the other good news, that's good news for everyone, is inventory is also increasing slightly since February, but there is an increase. Now, over the last week, a significant 7-day increase from April the 19th, as you can see right there. So a lot of homes coming into the market. And remember that this data is not even calculating townhomes and condos or new construction. So that should actually be very encouraging for buyers, but it also should be coupled with some wisdom in terms of pricing. And so while our market action index is showing a slight seller's advantage, which is increasing over the last month slightly, the reality is that there's an opportunity for buyers to be patient in their house shopping or decision making, because at least as for now, we are seeing this slight increase in inventory. And the hopeful expectation is that that is going to continue to be the trend. And this is happening across the country. It's not just here in Florence. So if you're house shopping, and of course, everything's a case-by-case basis. So if you can afford to be patient and wait, and when I say afford, I don't mean financially, I mean afford to wait time-wise. If you have the time and the ability to be patient, then the indication is that you can afford to do that right now. You don't have to jump and make an offer on a home immediately, whether it's not the exact home that you're looking for or whether it's a pricing issue. You can afford, if you can afford, to be patient and take your time finding the right house in the right situation. Now, when you couple that with pricing, and we talked about this last week, if you're in the middle two segments of our market particularly, definitely not the bottom, and not so much the top segment of our market, then you can also afford to be patient in terms of pricing. If you feel like the price on a property is too high, then you can watch it, or in submitting an offer, the middle two segments of our market, which will be these numbers here, the 200,000s and 300,000s, have a little bit more flexibility in terms of the potential of you being able to submit a lower offer and that offer actually get accepted. If you're shopping in the bottom or top segment of our market, then the expectation is statistically, it's more likely that you're going to need to put in an offer very close to or at asking price to get that house under contract. There's just not as much wiggle room, statistically speaking, in those two market segments. Now, again, everything in real estate transactions is a case-by-case basis. So there is data that needs to be considered. There's variables when you're talking about making an offer on a home or listing a home for sale in terms of price and strategy. And so to recap, there is inventory growth in the market that seems to be continually trending slightly in an upward direction. And so that's encouraging. Median list prices are still going up. And so that's encouraging for sellers. But there is this tension that's still in the room in terms of properties with a price decrease. And so the question is still hanging out there as we get into the spring and summer. Ideally, properties will continue to come into the market. Inventory will go up from the numbers of last year. But will prices sustain, or will they begin to drop? Because it stands to reason that as price decreases continues to either increase or maintain around 40%, that moving further into the year, list prices may begin to come down based on buyer demand and certainly in relation to mortgage rates that currently are at over 7% on average. I've been on quite a few house tours over recent weeks, and there are certain properties that I'm watching very closely because I'm interested to see what they're going to end up selling for, or if they're even going to go under contract at the list price that they're sitting at. Whether you're selling or buying, pricing is obviously important. We want to make good, educated decisions. That's where the data comes in. There's multiple variables of data or multiple data points or metrics that you want to look at and consider whether you're a buyer or a seller in the market. And if you're looking to buy or sell in the Florence area and you want to consider all these things, all of my contact information is down in the description of this video. Reach out to me today and we can set up a complimentary buyer's consultation or a home valuation complimentary as well, depending if you're buying or selling, or both. Certainly in terms of buyer activity, we're moving into the hottest time of the year now, and so a 180-day listing agreement is going to carry you all the way through the peak time of our year. And there may be some things to consider along those lines, but the bottom line is we are coming into the busy time of the year in terms of buyer demand. And so again, if you'd like to learn more about getting your home on the market and getting it prepped for sale, all of our contact information is down in the description of the video. We'd love to hear from you today. And in the meantime, I always wish you guys all the best in your real estate endeavors, no matter what you do. And y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next one.